In today's video, we are going through the best assault rifles you can be using in Warzone after the Season 4 Reloaded update. These are the guns that fit into the long range meta category. So to kick this video off, we're going to have a look at a gun that's seen an increase in popularity since the Season 4 Reloaded update and weapon tuning, the KGM-40. So in the muzzle slot for the KGM-40, we're going for the MX silencer. The barrel is going to be the 720 shrouded barrel. The optic, in most of these cases, if you are playing Caldera, it's going to be the SVT 3 to 6 times optic. If you're playing something like Rebirth or Fortune's Keep and you don't want to use this, you can always chuck on the 2.5 G16 or any optic that you prefer playing with. The stock is going to be the VDD 22G padded. In the underbarrel slot, we're going to go for the Strife angled. This is going to help us with horizontal recoil control. It is going to take away some aim down sight speed, but the distances we'll be using this gun at, we don't necessarily need a fast ADS time. If you want to use something else, you can also go for the hand stop. That's just going to take away some hipfire accuracy, and it is going to help you with some vertical and horizontal recoil control. But again, if you're fine with the recoil, go for the M1930 Strife angled. Now, the magazine is going to come down to what game modes you're playing. If you're playing the solos, go for the 40 round mags. It's going to help you with fire rate, recoil control, all that good stuff. But the majority of players are playing the duos, the trios, and the quads. So the Clouser 60 round drum magazine is going to be the best option here. In the ammunition slot, you can either go for lengthened, which is going to help out with the bullet velocity, or if you're finding that your bullets are hitting fine, you don't need it, go for subsonic to stay off the minimap. A little bit more undetected, but if you are looking for the full on meta build, lengthened is going to be the best option. In the rear grip slot, we're going to go for the hatched grip. This is just going to help you with all of your recoil, your horizontal and your vertical, and it's also going to help with flinch resistance if you are also being shot at during your gunfights. In the perk slot, we're going to go for brace. This is going to help you with initial firing recoil. You could use vital, but it's not as good as it used to be, and it is going to take away some recoil control and accuracy. So brace is going to be the best option here. Again, if you are struggling with the recoil throughout your continuous firing, throughout those gunfights, you could put on tight grip as well, like you would on something like a Cooper Carbine, but brace is going to be pretty good on the KG. Perk 2, this is pretty open. You can use whatever you want. I personally run fully loaded. You don't have to worry about the ammo side of things, and it is very good if you are trying to rebuild later on in the game. Now, moving on to our second option here, we are still going to put in the NZ41. Yes, it has had a big nerf, but a lot of people are still using this gun, and it is still pretty good. So that is why we're still going to chuck it in here, but there will be plenty of other guns in this video if you are bored of the NZ. And the build is going to be exactly the same. It's going to be the MX silencer. On the barrel side of things, remember we are putting on the Orb Weaver 360, not the Burst. The optic is, again, if you're playing Caldera, it's going to be the SVT. If you're playing something else, just play with whatever you prefer. The stock is going to be the Orb Weaver E-Pack. That's going to help you. This is going to be the best with the recoil control, recoil recovery, accuracy, all that good stuff. It is going to slow you down, but again, this is a long-range build. You don't really need to be moving or ADSing that fast. In the underbarrel slot, we're again going to go for the Strife angled just to help out with the horizontal recoil control. If you don't agree with it, if you think you play better with some of the others, build these classes out for preference over meta, but the Strife angled is going to be the best option there. The 50 round mag is going to give you some fire rate, movement speed, recoil control and accuracy. It's going to take away the bullet velocity, but hopefully you've made up for that with the type of barrel you're using. So the 50 round secure mags are going on the magazine. Again, ammunition depends on how you want to play. If you want to stay off the minimap, subsonic. If you want the extra bullet velocity, go with lengthened. On the rear grip, we are going to go again for the hatched grip just to help out with everything recoil related, vertical and horizontal recoil control pluses there. In the perk slot, again, we're going to go for brace just to help out with the initial firing recoil control. And again, perk 2 is entirely down to you, but fully loaded is going to be the best option there. And that is currently still the best build for the NZ41. Now, next up, we have another Vanguard gun, the Cooper Carbine. Now, I think this gun is pretty slept on. It's very, very easy to use. In the muzzle slot, we are again going for the MX silencer. The barrel is going to be the 22-inch Cooper Custom. The optic, again, depends on what you're playing, but the go-to is going to be the SVT 3 to 6 times optic. On the stock, you might see some people running the 45 RS. I still think the Cooper Custom Padded is the one to go for. Makes this gun super easy to use. If you need some recoil recovery and you want some aim down sight speed, go for the Cooper 45 RS. But if you can see there, it says accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Now, the fire rate on the Cooper Carbine is pretty fast, so you might want to run the recoil during sustained fire plus with the Cooper custom padded. That is why we've opted for the padded. On the underbarrel, we're going to go for the hand stop on this one, horizontal recoil control and vertical recoil control. Just because the fire rate is pretty quick, you might notice as soon as you fire this gun, it will start to go up on you, so that's why we're going for the hand stop. You could also run the strife angled if you wanted to, or if you are struggling, you could also go with the Carver foregrip, but the hand stop's going to be the best option for the Cooper Carbine. In the magazine slot, again, depends on what you're playing, but we're of course going for the 60 round drum mags. That's just going to be the simplest one. Going to give you some more fire rate as well, and it's going to help out with recoil control and accuracy. The ammunition, again, if you do want to run lengthened to help out with some of the lost bullet velocity by using the 60 round drums, go for it. If you don't, you can also run subsonic to stay undetected. We're mixing it up and we're going to go for the polymer grip. This is going to help you out with that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Just like we said with the Cooper custom padded, you want that recoil during sustained fire, just because that Cooper Carbine does have a kick once you've started firing. It's not like the KG, it's not like the NZ, which are very, very kind of what I would describe as like flat guns. They're very easy to use. This will want to go up on you, so that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire is why we're putting on the polymer grip. In the perk slots, we are going to go again for that same reason, the tight grip. This is going to help you out with that recoil once you are continuously firing. And then of course in the perk 2 slot, down to you, but we're going to go for fully loaded. So those are the Vanguard guns. Those are going to be the ones that are very viable for your game modes like your Caldera. But if you want to use something that's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to use, something that's more suited towards Fortune's Keep or Rebirth, these are the two guns for you. The first one is going to be the Modern Warfare M13. Yes, they've made a comeback. They are very, very good at the moment. Now, the one thing with the Modern Warfare guns, we have to remember they have increased the health since the good old days of Verdansk. So you might use the M13 and think, God, this takes so many bullets to kill this person, but it might take one or two more, but that's because they've added on the health since the integration with Vanguard. But these guns are still very, very good to use. So of course, you've probably seen this build 1,000 times, but we're going to go for the monolithic suppressor. We're going to put on the marksman barrel. The optic is going to be, of course, the VLK. If you want that long range, you could put on that if you're running Caldera. But if you're running something like Fortune's Keep, the best optic to use is going to be the Corp Combat holographic sight. Now, there is a bonus. I currently don't have it because I'm lazy, but if you go along onto your reticles, if you do have the blue dot, it is so much better than the red dot. It makes this gun super, super easy to use. I can't remember what the challenges are. You'll have to get 50 headshots with the holographic sight and then something else as well. But if you do have that unlocked and you didn't know about it, definitely go ahead and use that. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. You still can run this gun pretty well. In the underbarrel slot, it's of course going to be the Commando foregrip. It's going to help you with recoil stabilization and your aiming stability. And then in the magazine, because we're going to be playing the duos, the trios, the quads, we need as much ammo as possible. We're going to go for the 60 round magazine, and that's currently the best build for the M13, like we've seen all along. Now, the final gun we're going to have a look at, and it feels good to be saying this, the Kilo 141 is back in Warzone at the moment. One of the most popular Warzone weapons of all time. We all know the build. It's going to be the monolithic suppressor. It's going to be the Prowler Singard barrel. The optic, again, is going to depend on what you're playing. I would personally go for the Corp Combat. If you want that extra viewing distance, you can go for the 3x VLK. Corp Combat is going to suit you in most cases. Again, if you can put on the reticle, go ahead and do that. The underbarrel is going to be the Commando foregrip. And again, just like the M13, the magazine is going to be this 60 round magazine. And there we go, guys. Those are 5 of my favorite long range meta guns to be using in Warzone at this moment in time after the Season 4 Reloaded update. Of course, the next thing we need to do is have a look at the submachine guns. So keep your eyes on the channel for that video coming out in the next couple of days. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it down below. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So big love to anyone who leaves a like or a comment on the video. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for staying tuned to the video. As always, feel free to subscribe to the channel for all of the latest Call of Duty news, tips and tricks, how-tos, class setups, and much more.